Okay, we'll start with some injuries. So LaMelo done for the year with a fractured ankle. What's up with you think, Cam? What do you think about that?
Um, Everything. It always just seems to be his ankle every single time. Him and his brother, just their lower leg injuries. I, I mean, I won't speak on it, but the healthiest I ever was with my lower, like I literally never after my leg surgery went to them, whatever. I never missed a practice, never missed a game, and it was simply just adding strength into your legs. And I think that literally Lamelo and Lonzo just need to fucking hit some fucking squats and like just build that muscle up in their legs, and they will fix a lot of those issues. Because Lonzo with the knees, but it's a bunch of just like stress, and Lamelo with his ankles, it's just kind of like what Steph Curry had to deal with when he was, coming into the league. And I mean, you don't want it to hinder somebody like Lamelo because he's a lot better than what people think. I
Oh
think they
yeah.
see LaMelo Ball and they're like, oh, they think of all this like bullshit from like his past and like in high school, but
He's good.
he's a
Dude,
good player.
I love watching him play. Okay, I love points. I love dunks. That's all Anthony Edwards does. I like the ability to can six threes and also still want to dish out 12 assists and make it look pretty.
Fair.
Yeah.
I love your Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball back and forth. I love it because they're both gonna be really good. It's not like one of them is worse. The other one's like they're
Right.
gonna be top 10 players by the time they're 27, probably.
I mean, it's a great debate. I love how Wiseman just gets lost in the middle of it because it's like, it should have been God. And like my thing is, half of it is tongue in cheek, but I do think LaMelo is like, and people call me crazy when I'm like, all right, yeah, LaMelo hasn't done any winning. But if you drafted him number one and had LaMelo with Cat,
Yeah.
that is a lot more dynamic than two
Yeah.
guys who want the ball in their hands 24/7.
So what I've read a lot is about that 2020 draft was interesting because there was no pre-draft workouts. And
Yeah.
so
Okay. Right.
I fully believe that the Warriors never take James Wiseman. They probably take LaMelo number two just because he's the next best player available. But those no pre-draft workouts, I think, is kind of what had Wiseman so high. I think Wiseman probably falls out of the top five if he
Right.
has those workouts. And LaMelo and Anthony Edwards is probably a bigger discussion at number one than what it was because Anthony Edwards was touted to go number one as soon as the season was over. And I'm like, well, LaMelo Ball is not that far behind. It's just everybody gave him shit for the league he was playing in Australia, which
Right.
the same league that Victor Wembanyama is playing in. So it's like, what are we doing?
And it's like Simmons too was like, see, I actually liked the fact that LaMelo was playing against grown men,
Yeah.
and Anthony Edwards was getting trounced, but putting up points for Georgia. He didn't do any winning there. But yeah, no, I'm the ire of the Twin Cities for my Anthony Edwards takes. But I mean, what's happening? First of all, I mean, it's funny because it's like it's more the Glenn Taylor. Like this guy's been robbing the city of Minneapolis for 20 years by putting just crap team after crap team. Jimmy Butler, Tom Thibodeau. What's been going on there, and now it's like, okay, you trade for Rudy, you get a new guy, GM, and he makes arguably one of the dumbest trades we've seen in the last 2 decades. Franchise completely set back. You sell it to A-Rod of all people, like the last thing to just kind of backhand the city of A-Rod has no idea what he's doing. He's going to move the franchise to Las Vegas. So like A-Rod doesn't even like it up here.
Right. Yeah. Good point.
All right, that was a good first topic. I love it.
All right. Cam, how serious do we think the LeBron ankle injury is, and what do you think of the new look Lakers?
I don't think it's his ankle. I think he broke a bone in his foot. And I really think that like I don't want to say this, but this is very reminiscent to when Kobe tore his Achilles in 2013. Kobe had him in the playoff. LeBron doesn't have the Lakers in the playoffs right now, but there's the plan, so it's a little bit different. But Kobe had the Lakers at I want to say like 45 and something, and he tore his Achilles just going in every single night and scoring 30. And I'm not going to say that this was a stress injury. It could have just been a freak accident, but I don't know. He's missed like he'll be over 100 games missed since he's joined the Lakers, and it just kind of sucks. It just kind of sucks.
One of my favorite things I did a couple of weeks ago is like, I can't believe he's still doing this at such a high level. Like, so he was drafted in 2003. Go look at even the 2009 NBA draft and see some of the guys that have retired who are 6 years older than LeBron or younger than LeBron, and he's still doing what he is. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Steroids? No? Okay.
I'll save it. LeBron goes overseas and gets a little bit of, medical help. I'll just leave it.
I mean, he does. He's documented that he spends like tens of millions on his body. Something a little illegal maybe slip in there. I mean, it's crazy what he's doing. But hey, Brady too. I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Now he's in the mirror taking pictures of himself in the underwear. So I don't know.
Yeah.
What that came out today? I don't know if it's true. But apparently he's like gonna try to get into stand-up comedy.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a joke. Like, apparently he's doing a roast or someone's gonna roast him.
3 different like credible sources were like, yeah, Tom Brady's gonna like go and try comedy, and his like inner circle is like telling him not to do it. And I'm like, oh.
And now opening up for Lil Sasquatch, here's Tom Brady.
Yeah, like literally.
What kind of crowd does that draw?
Okay, the biggest thing in basketball, KD debut tomorrow. What do we think about the Suns game?
I wanted KD to get out of Brooklyn probably the year that when they lost, when he had his foot on the line against the Bucks. That was kind of like that's probably the best they're gonna do, because they even still had Harden at that point. But I think him, Chris Paul, and Devin Booker can figure it out. Those 3 alone are good enough to figure it out and keep them afloat. But I just worry about their bench. And we can keep on saying KD this, KD that, but this will be, every team that he's been on, he's missed stretches of games due to lower body injuries. And so coming off a sprained MCL, I mean, I know when he did it last year, he sprained his other MCL. He came back and was just right back to it, 30 points a game, whatever. But I think he's just on a new team, different dynamic. He hasn't played with any of these guys yet. And you got 19, 20 games left. And I want to see who they draw in the first round of the playoffs, because it could be very interesting. But I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see KD on a new team, and he's back in the West. So hopefully we get a KD and LeBron matchup at some point.
Or him and the Warriors, like that's even exciting. Yeah, I'm excited to see how he plays with Chris Paul. Chris Paul is one of my favorite players. Like, I love a good assister, so he's one of the best to ever do it. So I love watching him play. He makes every team on him better. And now, now you got Booker, KD. Let's not forget about Ayton, even though he's just kind of a standstill hat rack, but that's still not a bad, second or, fourth option. West is wide open to me. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I have a Nuggets future I took kind of early in the season. So, I mean, what's funny about the NBA is like, okay, it doesn't matter if it's not until you win the Western Conference. Regular season doesn't mean crap. So it's like, all right, you got to do it in the playoffs, Nicola.
Yeah. I think it's his year. I think it's his year to do it. I love Jokic's game.
Yeah.
Everything about it is just it's so skilled that it almost looks too effortless, to where you don't want to give enough credit, because it's like he passes the ball, he just kind of like, fuck it, assist, like whatever. Oh, I'll just shoot it, barely jump, get off the ground, and whatever. I won't dunk the ball ever, and I'm never gonna like pump my chest or say I'm the best player in the world. Like, he just kind of just goes, and if he has a night like he had another 30, 15, and 10 or whatever, it's just like, okay. And we're at that point now with Jokic. He's won 2 in a row. I think he should win 3 in a row. And he won it when they were the 6th seed. If they're going to be the 1 seed, then he deserves it. I think that they'll be able to put it together in the playoffs. It's just going to be up to everybody else in their team to do it.
And Jamal Murray back. Porter Jr., how about rep at SDL? He's looking pretty damn good now. Yeah, that'd be fun. I thought I had something. He's minus 300 to 3-peat for the MVP. I think he's going to. I agree with you. And yeah.
Yeah. All right. Last couple topics I had. That Dame performance was pretty crazy. You think he's like, he's pretty like, he seems like he's pretty like adamant that, I'm not going to go try to be on a super team. Like, I'm going to stay.
Here's a great quote that he actually put out today, and it's true, because you can even look at it in somebody like KD's situation, LeBron's even, and it's like the grass is not always greener on the other side. And so he said Russell Westbrook, who, if you remember that summer of 2016 when KD left, Russell signed a 2-year extension, and everybody was like, oh, go Russell, we love you, whatever. 2 years later, they were ready to get his ass out of there.
Yeah. No.
On his fourth or fifth team in consecutive years. And it's like, well, how much better does Russell Westbrook's career look if he stays in Oklahoma City or if it works out in Houston? And the same thing with KD. He leaves Golden State after winning 2 titles. Obviously, everything in Brooklyn went left. And then you had everybody saying, oh, you should go back to Golden State. And he's probably sitting there, what the fuck? Like, that's for all of you. And now I'm in the worst predicament I could ever be in as a basketball player. And I'm getting shit for now trying to lead my own team. And so it's like, if Dame goes anywhere and doesn't win, it's like, what does he think? Because there's no situation he's going into where it's his own team. He walks into the building and everybody knows him. He knows everybody. Like, he gets all the preferential treatment that he can want. Not saying that he needs it or wants it, but somebody's going to go to Portland and it's going to come full circle for him. And he's going to get a good teammate to run with him. I don't know if he ever wins. It'd be like a Dallas 2011 situation where everything just kind of comes together at the right time. But if teams keep stacking players, I mean, it's just going to be the inevitable where he's just going to have an ugly situation when he leaves.
And you're going to have to trade for somebody. Nobody's got, bro. I went to Portland once. Never again. I mean, that place is a dump. But they love him there, so that's why I'll totally understand why he wouldn't want to leave too. He's embraced, but yeah, I mean, who else are you going to get to go there? It ain't South Beach.
Definitely not.
All right, then last couple of things. This isn't really a big one. Pat Bev just has me, for some reason, so fucking weak. I think he's hilarious.
He's the Pat Bev effect. I mean, the Bulls.
He's always yapping about something. Today, he claims he requested a trade, but on his podcast the other day, he said that his agent came to his house and was like, "Yeah, you're getting traded." And I just think, do you think he requested a trade? Like, is he is he of a caliber enough to request a trade, or like would he get?
Anybody can technically request a trade. You don't really have any leeway because it's like, what would the team get back if they trade you? It's probably not going to be anything. But I mean, Pat Bev, I don't know. It's as far as a guy like bouncing from team to team, it's kind of like the way it looks like his career is going to be that like spark plug guy that like ignites a locker room. But
he's just hilarious to me.
I just don't understand why. Wait, he wanted what he thought he wanted. Did he not think the Lakers were a contender? He wasn't playing with the best player, in the universe. He wanted to go to the Orlando Magic. I don't know. And then, of course, has the buyout option. I think he's kind of full of shit.
Just the shit he does, like with the camera and stuff. Like I think
man. He's just gonna say what's on the top of his mind, because if he says anything condensed, it's gonna look like. It's just not going to look like him. So,
bro, the Pat Bev pod,
which is a
no, yeah. Oh my God, you want to talk about stealing money from Barstool? I mean, it's basically just Pat Bev drinking wine, going through his phone. Oh yeah, my buddy said he checked out the pod today. Okay.
Yeah, I say good pod sarcastically. I don't know.
He's interesting though. Exactly.
I like him and Rone's dynamic, kind of.
No, they're turning into like friends. That's what I will say is cool. Is Rone's like, man, I hope Orlando. He's like, I'm rooting for you, man. Chicago. Yeah, Rone's a good guy.
Yeah. Okay, then last 2 things are 2 questions. One, Cam, who's someone that isn't like one of the top 5 that you've really enjoyed, like watching hoop this year? Like from a betting perspective, like Julius Randle has been fucking scoring out his ass. That's my question.
Okay, that's a really good question. I would say, I think it's the bigs this year, because it's like you're seeing 15 rebound games, 20 rebound games, and Zubac from the Clippers is a 12 rebound threat every night. Valanciunas and Sabonis are 15 rebound threats every single night. And obviously rebounding is an effort thing, but the dudes are in all these threes that are getting chucked up and stuff like that. It's just kind of like stealing just an extra 3 rounds a quarter. So I think it's the bigs this year. Joel Embiid his combos are good for almost every night. But I would say, as far as if you want to go guards, you said Julius Randle. I think Jalen Brunson is. Not only is he underrated, his contract has become underrated.
Yeah.
And, he might have the Knicks in the playoffs. Who knows? I don't know.
I did not think that Brunson thing was going to work out, and who knows, maybe it's a one and done in the playoffs. But him and Randall have been fun to watch. And the Knicks, basketball, the NBA is better when the Knicks are good, which has never happened in our life. I just like seeing the return of the claw. I think Kawhi, I drafted him on my fantasy team. I'm going, is this dude even going to play this year? And he's worked through it, and he's been absolutely dominant. I randomly got a Kawhi jersey, which I love too. So
Kawhi,
bring me to promised land.
First part of the season when he was playing weird minutes, and then he would just sit out like 3 games whenever. I just didn't really know where it was going. But I mean, when Kawhi Leonard is healthy, he's the show. That's basketball to its purest form. If you want to watch somebody just be about their business and do their thing, it's a great show to watch. If you want to talk about players who lose me money, we can go. That list is very long, and it starts with Zach LaVine.
Oh my God, yeah.
The organization is in disarray, but Zach LaVine is another one of those guys where it's like I almost try to stay away from, even if they're playing the Hornets or the Rockets. I'm like, dude, I don't know. He might come out and have like 15 points against the Rockets and like 40 against the Pacers. It's like I don't. Tyrese is a great option of it. I keep going back to guys I like, but yeah, Zach LaVine, not a good.
Tyrese is a disher for sure. But who's been losing me a fuck ton of money ever since they dropped 71 is motherfucking Donovan Mitchell.
Your boy Spida.
Yeah. Like
Jack's Twitter has me weak, by the way. I just gotta say that. Jack's always just tweeting at Spida. Dude, you blow now. Or NBA players.
Jack tweeting about players losing him money in fucking Chipotle, fucking some shit. Or at a restaurant being like, your guys' service is terrible. Like I live for that shit on my timeline.
Hey, they always give me a gift card. But all right, last question I had for Cam is I know Dylan said he had a future on the Nuggets. Who's kind of realistically, who do you think could win, and who's kind of like a dark horse?
Okay, my dark horse team in the middle of the season would have definitely been New Orleans, but obviously with Zion done for. My dark horse, I don't even.
Or not dark horse, but like who do you like? Just a couple that you think are like actually.
I think the Nuggets are legit this year. If Jokic is gonna if he's gonna play defense in the playoffs and their team is just gonna help him out on defensive end, I think they're legit. But I think it starts and stops with whoever comes out of the East, whether it's Bucks or the Celtics. And the Bucks just play great basketball, and they play really well without Giannis. Because Drew Holiday is another underrated guy who's going to make an All-NBA team this year after everybody thought he should have been an All-Star. They just have a good team. The Celtics, I think, which is weird because we don't know Jason, but like it's weird that he's like being talked about in this light where it's like if he doesn't do well in this playoffs, or they bow out early, it's going to be like pressure on Jason to fucking win a title. It's like, holy shit, like he's only 24, but I would say, it's between the Celtics and the Bucks. I think the Nuggets, if they get out of the West, they're a scary team just because playing in Denver in the finals, like shit, that might be tough. But then I think it's either them or Phoenix. I think Phoenix could surprisingly be really, really good because I think even though the Suns got KD, I still think Devin Booker could be their best player as far as the rest of the season goes.
Yeah, I'm hoping the Nuggets get it done, kind of wide open West. I'm excited to see KD play. Excuse me, minutes restriction. I think I saw Wednesday. Don't know if that's going to be continuing. Yeah, you mentioned the Bucks. The Bucks, the East is loaded. Last year they didn't have Middleton. Middleton's back. Middleton, obviously, a big part of when they won that championship, which we want to get into conspiracy theories. Have you heard that Giannis had COVID during that finals, but they kind of swept that under the rug and just kind of didn't want to postpone the finals? One of those weird NBA years, right? But Giannis gets the ring. He's dealing with injury. God, he's on my fantasy team too. It's like you lock in lineups. It's tough. You never know who's playing. But yeah, I would go Bucks Nuggets, which I don't know if the NBA is going to be thrilled about, but I think NBA fans would be.
Yeah. I think the small market NBA finals would be okay only because
the stars.
The rhetoric around Twitter is just, I think people hated when we got Cavs and Warriors for so long, and then we didn't get it for a while, and it's like, oh, we kind of missed that. But it's like, I don't really think you do. I think you kind of do want to see Jokic go for his first ring. You want to see Giannis get possibly another one. You want to see KD win on a different team. Like, there's just a lot of storylines, but yeah, I think Milwaukee is that's an interesting story.
This was fun, gentlemen. Winging it. Great to get Cameron Scales on with us here. Great. Check out his podcast, Pop Culture Playbook. He's a great follow on Instagram and TikTok. Cameron.scales on Instagram. Cameron underscore scales on Twitter. Cam, anything we missed? You want to promote your stuff? And thanks for hopping on.
Appreciate you guys having me on. I would love to do this again. Pop Culture Playbook is a name that kind of just came about and it kind of just rolled off the tongue well. And I was like, damn, this kind of sounds pretty good. I've been wanting to do just different forms of content, like just the straight audio, like I said. But other than that, man, I enjoy watching other people's content. I enjoy learning from other people. And you guys do a good job on this podcast. And I always enjoy watching. I think the experience of watching, even just the reactions to your guys' faces are always so love like Duarte and Bursic on the pod. But yeah, just keep doing what you guys are doing, man. I'm gonna keep being a fan, keep watching, keep reposting the stuff, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, love it, man. We'd have to get you back on. Maybe NBA Finals. We'll circle back and kind of do this again and see what we learned or hit or did not. Good stuff. All right, Jack, appreciate it. Cameron Scales, appreciate it. Winging it. We'll talk. We're off next week. I'm going to the Dominican, so we'll be back in 2 weeks, and always keep it locked with us here.